Trig equation. Solve the equation. Sine 2x is 1/2. So because we have 2x in there instead of x, we need to change the domain, okay? So now, we multiply everything by 2 because of the 2x. So then you think, when is sine 1/2? So we get our hand, we make the right side one finger up. That's happening at pi over 6, but we're in degrees, so 30 degrees. So we're gonna have 2x equals, because basically we've done the sine inverse, and we have a positive 1/2, so that's happening here and here. So we're gonna have 30 degrees, and then 180 minus 30 degrees, which is 150, and we need to just keep adding 360 to these until we get up to 720. So we're gonna have 30 plus 360, which is 390, 150 plus 360, which is 510. And if we did 390 plus 360, you're gonna get 750, which is outside the domain. So now we just have to divide everything by 2. So we've got 15, 30 divided by 2 is 15, and then 150 divided by 2 is 75, 390 divided by 2 is 195, and 510 divided by 2 is 255. So those are our 4 answers. All right, here, this one is with calculator because 1/3 is not a special angle or a special value. So when in the calculator, we're in degrees, so make sure your calculator's in degrees, and you do the sine inverse, because we're still from, let's do this, 0 to 400. So if you do the sine inverse of 1/3, we're going to have 2x equals, and when you do this in the calculator, you're going to get 19.47, okay? And that's going to be your reference angle over here. So that's one angle, and then we have 180 minus that thing, 19.47, blah, blah, blah. That's 160.529. And then we just keep adding 360, because every time around the circle is going to be a solution until we get over 400. So the next one is 19.47 plus 360 is 379.471. And then if we do 160 plus 360, that's outside of the 400 degrees. So now we've got to just divide our answers by 2 to get x. So we're going to have to 3 significant figures, 9.74 degrees. And then we have the 160 divided by 2, so that's 80.3 degrees. And then the 379 divided by 2 is 189, because 3 significant figures, 190. So that makes us between 0 and 200. Okay, so now we're in radians, and we have 2x, so we need to go in between 0 and 4 pi. So now when is sine 1/2? Oh my gosh, that's there. And we're in radians, so this is pi over 6. So that's happening here and here, because sine's positive. So 2x equals pi over 6. And then pi minus pi over 6 is 5 pi over 6. And then we just keep adding 2 pi until we're over 4 pi, okay? So pi over 6 plus 2 pi, that's going to be, because it's without calculator, just to review, 2 pi with denominator 6 is 12 pi over 6. So that's going to be 13 pi over 6. And then if we do 5 pi over 6 plus 2 pi or 12 pi over 6, that's 17 pi over 6. And yeah, will be over 4 pi because this is, whoops. So there's the pi over 6. This is 5 pi over 6. And then we're at 2 pi and a bit. And then we're at 2 pi and a bit. That's almost 3 pi. And then we'll be back around at 4 pi. So then we just need to divide by 2. So we're going to have pi over 12, 5 pi over 12, 13 pi over 12, and 17 pi over 12. Okay, so this one we've got to square root both sides. So we're going to have sine x equals plus or minus, so that's going to be in all 4 quadrants, square root of 1 over root 3. So this is not one of those special angles. That's root 3 over 2. This is a special angle for tangent, but not for sine or cosine. Okay, so we have to use the calculator, and we are going to do sine inverse of 1 over root 3. Okay, and it needs to be in not degrees, radians. So that's going to be 0.615 radians, okay? Now this is going to be our reference angle in 4 quadrants because it's positive or negative wise, okay? So, and we need to, yeah, we just need, because we have x in there, we don't have to change our domain. That's what I was thinking, but we don't have to. So we're going to have that x is 0.615, and then we have pi, pi minus that, so 2.53, and then we're going to have pi plus that in that 3rd quadrant, so 3.76, and that's it because it only goes to 3 pi over 2. So this one is not going to be because this is 3 pi over 2 here. So these are all in radians, those are answers. Okay, so now we're from 0 to 720, and we have to make the left side of our fingers 3. So that's here. And now we have, so that's 30 degrees. And so now it's cosine. And cosine is positive here and here because that's the x's. All right. So we have to go up to 720. So we've got 2x equals 30 and 360 minus 30, which is 330. And then we just keep adding 360 till we get over 320. So we're going to have 390 and 690. And then it's going to be over 720. Okay, so now we just divide by 2. So we have 15. And then 330 divided by 2 is 165. 390 divided by 2 is 195 degrees. And then 690 divided by 2 is 345 degrees. All right, so this one, this is between 0 and 2 pi. So if it's 2x, we've got between 0 and 4 pi. We already know from the previous one that cosine is root 3 over 2 at 30 degrees, or pi over 6. Here and here, because it's positive cosine. So we're going to have pi over 6. And then 2 pi minus pi over 6 is 11 pi over 6. And then we just keep adding 2 pi, or 12 pi over 6. So we're going to have 13 pi over 6, pi over 6 plus 2 pi. And 11 pi over 6 is 23 pi over 6, and 24 pi over 6 is 4 pi. So we stop there. Dividing by 2, we are going to have pi over 12, 11 pi over 12, 13 pi over 12, and 23 pi over 12. So this one, we have to change the domain because it's 2x minus 10. So if we multiply, by 2, and then we subtract 10. And 7, 20 minus 10 is 7, 10. Okay, so 1/2, we already know that's happening at 30 degrees. And it's sine, so we're here and here. Okay, so 2x minus 10 is going to equal 30 degrees. And then 150 degrees. And then we just add 360, so that's 390. 390. And then 5, 10. And then, actually, we could do, like if we went backwards, just to, it's only starting at negative 10, but just in case, this is negative 210 here. So that's way too far. Negative 10 is like here, so we don't have that. But that's why I didn't go backwards. So then, if you did 390 plus 360, that's outside of your domain. So we don't have any more than 510. Okay, so now we have to add 10 and divide by 2, all of these. So, all right, so we've got plus and 40 divided by 2 is 20. Then we've got 160 divided by 2 is 80, and 400 divided by 2, and 520 divided by 2 is 260. Okay, so for this one, we have to multiply by 2 and then subtract 1. So 0 times 2 minus 1. And then 2x minus 1. And then 4 pi minus 1. Okay, now sine is root 2 here at pi over 4. Okay, so we are going to be here, and it's positive, and here, so pi over 4. All right, so 2x minus 1 is going to be pi over 4, and 3 pi over 4, pi minus pi over 4. All right, and then we need to add 2 pi until we get to 4 pi minus 1. All right, so yes, so that's going to be 8 pi over 4. So we're going to have 9 pi over 4. That's like this. And then 3 pi over 4 plus 2 pi is 11 pi over 4. So that's all the way around and back here. And then that will be it, because once we go around the circle twice, we'd go back a radian, but we're not going to be down there. So it's going to be these, and then we need to add 1 and divide by 2. So when we add 1, it's going to be 4 over 4. So this is going to be pi over 4 plus 1. So that's going to be pi over 4, pi plus 4 over 4. And since we have to divide by 2, we're going to put 8. And then we're going to have 3 pi plus 4 over 8. And then we're going to have 9 pi plus 4 over 8. And 11 pi plus 4 over 8. So this one, we have to use identities now, because we have cosine and sine 2x. So we are going to have sine 2x is going to be 2 sine x cosine x. And we want to get it equal to 0. And then we're going to factor. out a 2 cosine x. So then we're going to have sine x here minus 1. And then we're going to have this equals 0. And if we divide by 2, come back to that, sine x minus 1 is 0. So sine x is 1. Cosine is 0 here and here. All right? So we're going to have x is pi over 2. We're going to have 3 pi over 2, and that's just from 0 to 2 pi, so we need to go back around to here because 3 pi is here. All right, so we're going to have 5 pi over 2 is the last one for cosine x is 0. Sine is 1 just here. So we're going to have those two answers again. Sorry, not those two answers. These two answers again. So those are our 3 answers. All right, so this one, we can, let's see what we do here. First of all, 2 sine x cosine x. So cosine squared, so what we can maybe do, let's do like this. Get it equal to 0. And then we can factor out a 2 cosine x. And on the inside, we're going to have cosine x minus sine x, right? Okay. And then we're going to have 2 cosine x is 0. And we're going to have cosine x minus sine x is 0. So now, cosine x is 0. This is from 0 to pi. We've already done this. Cosine 0 is here, and since we're just between pi, that's our only answer. Okay. Now here, this is going to be tangent. So if we divide by cosine, we get 1 on this side, sine x over cosine here, and that's tangent. So tangent is 1 here and here. But since we're only between 0 and pi, it's just here at pi over 4. Because with the hand, we want sine and cosine to be the same because it's going to be root 2 over 2 over root 2 over 2. Okay? 38. Now, sometimes you just got to start somewhere. So I'll just use the tangent definition. Multiply by cosine, and then subtract sine. So factor out a sine. So sine is 0, or 2 cosine x minus 1 is 0. So cosine x is going to be 1 over 2. All right, sine is 0 here and here. So if we're from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2, so first I'm going to go negative pi over 2, so that's this way. So we're going to have x is 0, and we're going to have, yeah, that one actually doesn't count because it stops here. All right, so there's no solutions there. So just 0, actually. And then if we went from 0 to pi over 2, you kind of have to break it up. Again, it stops here because it's in between pi over 2 and negative pi over 2. All right, so this is our only answer here. Now, cosine x is 1/2. That is here. So we're going to be at pi over, that's a pi over 3 finger. And down, no, yes, actually, down here, negative pi over 3. Because remember, x is positive there. So this is, yeah, cosine x is 1/2. All right. For this one, we have root 3 is sine over cosine, which is tangent. So tangent is root 3. So that's the right fingers over the left fingers. So we want root 3 over 2 over 1 over 2. So it's root 3. All right, so that is happening. So we want, that's the 60 degree finger, we're in degrees. 0 to 360, tangent's positive. So tangent's positive here and here. So 60 and 60. So we're going to be at 60 degrees, and then 180 plus 180 plus 60, which is 240. And those are the two answers.